Welcome back to Careers with Miss V. I'm excited to bring another incredible guest. Today we're meeting with Kapil Dasani, who is the founder of Dasani Connoisseur, a really interesting enterprise that I can't wait to get into. Kapil, I have so many questions about the work that you're doing at your organization and also the work that you're doing in the community. But before we do that, I'd like to take you back to your younger adolescent years. Did you always know that a piece of jewelry would be part of your future?
Oh, never. I never knew that until I was at least in my 20s. I always felt, because my dad was a connoisseur for textiles, and I always assumed that it's going to be textiles for me and never jewelry. But you don't know what happens, and when it happens, it has to happen. So here I am, very proud, and I'm so glad it happened.
I really enjoy that you're bringing up the word connoisseur. So I'm going to dig a little deeper. You mentioned that your dad was also a connoisseur. That's how you describe yourself. When you were an adolescent, did you know what that meant? And if you didn't, where were your interests when you were younger?
I didn't know. Believe me, I didn't even know, and I couldn't even pronounce it properly. Okay. But Dad was so passionate about his work, and his commitment to the industry was so high that I always dreamt that one day I should become a passionate and a committed individual. And that, I think, led to becoming a connoisseur in the industry I was drawn into. I was kind of pushed into. Yeah.
Brilliant. I know that young people are always interested in the degree, and they're always worried about getting it wrong or making sure that they're getting it right. What were your academic interests as a young teenager?
See, I had a lot of questions when I was in college, and I would always ask a lot of questions. And none of my teachers were happy about me because I would not let the class move forward. But what I've understood is that I don't use anything that I learned in college, actually. It's after college, when you get onto the street and you become street smart, and you understand about sales, you understand about value education, you understand about how you can add value and how you can handle people. I think that's where the crux of business is today. If Mark Zuckerberg is where he is, I think he's just handling people. He's handling people very, very nicely, and that's why he's there where he is. Or anybody, for that matter, any organization. It's all about people, I would say.
Brilliant. Which is interesting and enlightening as well, because with the ongoing conversation of how do we prepare young people for those unprecedented careers moving forward, to hear you say that actually what we do at an essence is really working with humans, and it's about building those the ability to communicate in your tasks. Okay, Kapil, let's take you into what you describe as being a Dasani Connoisseur. What does that mean?
Dasani is my family name, and it's a very, I always wanted, you want your family name as a jeweler, because that's where you build trust. And connoisseur means someone who's good at it. So you have connoisseurs for silk, you have connoisseurs for leather, you have connoisseurs for textiles, and you have connoisseurs for jewelry. So this was a very nice conversation I had with a friend of mine who lives in Germany, and she's the one who pushed me into taking that decision of going ahead with Dasani Connoisseur. She said, Kapil, you're very committed and you know your industry, and I think you're on top of the game. So you are a connoisseur, and let's go ahead with Dasani Connoisseur. And that's how it started.
Love that. I love the story of a brand. And I think it's very inspiring to see that not only are you really good at what you do, but you're also wanting that personal touch to it by adding your family name. Okay, Kapil, what's it like to work in the industry with jewelry? I know that young people are not really thinking about industries. They're thinking more about job roles or occupations. And what I'm trying to encourage educators, practitioners, parents, and young people is to really recognize that job roles exist, but what industry are you interested in? What's it like to be in the jewelry industry?
I would say that it's the most beautiful thing to be in the jewelry industry. You deal with art. You might not be, you're not like you're not obsessed with your own art. You're a trader of art. So you love art. You like to you know how to create it, and you're not obsessed with it. You have to one day give it away. You have to sell it away. So if you make a beautiful ring, you don't want to keep that ring for yourself. You want to trade that ring. You want to go ahead. So I think this is the most beautiful industry, and it's got lots to offer. You have lovely people who want to buy jewelry from you, and it's your imagination that you can create those kind of beautiful pieces that they will wear and they will admire and they will possess, which is so beautiful. I mean, this is a blessing. I think this industry is a rocking industry, and people and children should look at it as a wonderful career.
And how did you get into it? So you mentioned that your dad was doing something very different. How did you find yourself in this industry?
It's always accidents happen. I'll give you a short story. I'll try to be as brief as I can. My dad had a friend who lived in Bahrain, and who used to come to our hometown in India for some medical work. And dad used to be his friend. And one day, dad just told me to go and deliver some homemade food for his best friend who's come down from another country. So I just went to deliver. I was the delivery boy, and I was in my 19. I was 19 years old, and I was just a delivery boy. And this gentleman, my dad's friend, his son was there, and he saw me and said, "Wow, this guy has got a good communication skill, and he's in India, and he needs to go out." So then the next day they offered my dad and said, "Can we ask your son to join us in Bahrain? And I would love to, teach him this industry." So I just got pulled into the industry. Yeah, and I'm so happy. I want to thank that gentleman.
That's a real chance meeting, isn't it?
Yes,
And
it is. It is.
what did you learn from that you think if there's a young person listening to this story right now, this is the key takeaway?
Okay. We are nowadays, I see that young children, they are so much concerned about the result. They are so much driven. Like when we are in classrooms, we don't worry about whether we're going to pass the exam or fail, right? We just be there in the classroom. We do our best. We study, we play, we enjoy, and at the end of the year, eventually some people get a high grade, some people get a little average, and some people get a low grade, and hardly one or two don't make it. But 98% of the classroom makes it. So are any industries like that? You don't have to worry too much about what's going to happen, you just do your part. You just go to the classroom every day, go there, sit down and learn and do your best, listen and operate. It's the same thing in business. You just do your best. You have your company, you have your goals, you have your action points. Just do it sincerely without judging yourself or judging the outcome, and you will see life is so beautiful. It will always surprise you with beautiful surprises. So I believe the journey is more important. The result is not in your control any which ways. So why bother?
What would you say are some of the changes that artificial intelligence are bringing to the jewelry industry?
It's very scary. I don't like it myself. It's too much. I think anything data or any obsession is too much, but it is important. We need to know our clients, where they are, what they do. Okay, to a level is okay, but I think they're kind of crossing the line these days. But I'm sure it's going to go back, and there will be government which will step in and hold the bar. But any technology that has come in has always promoted business, and I am so happy to be part of that change. And I think change is the future. So keep changing.
How does being the founder of an organization, how does that come about? What are some of the tips you have for a young person wanting to become their own employer? They want to own their own business.
Yeah. So you don't need anything. You just need to. What's the most important thing that you need when you want to become an entrepreneur, or you want to start your own business? Is not the money. It's not even the skill. It's not even the know-how. In my opinion, all you need is courage. If you have courage, everything will come along. You will get the skills, you'll get the know-how, you'll get the money, and you'll do. And the biggest challenge that a new budding entrepreneur would face in today's life is obscurity. People will not know who he is or who she is and what she's got to offer. So if I had the last dollar in my hand, I would spend it on PR and marketing, because I think that's where you will get new customers. And a business that can get new customers is a business that's going to sell to the roof. Getting new blood is so important than retaining the old customers. It's a balance between both. So I would say that courage, obscurity, public relation and marketing, and always looking for new clients. If you do this you're on fire.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That was a really fun conversation I had with you today, Kapil. It was interesting to learn about the chance meeting that brought you into the industry. Talk to us a little bit about the community work that you're doing. I know that you're supporting at the Rotary Club of Jumeirah. What is a director of vocational service? Because that's another trending word in education for young people not wanting to go down that post-secondary academic path. They're interested in what's now being described as that vocational service and that vocational path.
See, you see what I do see, when you're in business, you're so obsessed or you're so focused on your own things, but sometimes you have to give back to society. And that's where I joined Rotary, and I also joined the BNI, and I also part of Mastermind. When I joined Rotary, it's service above self. That's the logo that's the the message for all of us and for everybody, that we have to serve above yourself. When you do that, I picked intentionally the role of director of vocational, because you see people who go out of their way to do something for others. It's not in their job description, it's not in their duties, it's not on theirs, but they still go out of the way to do something for others, and that has to be recognized. And I think there's no better place than Rotary International, where people are recognized of that caliber, whoever they are, and for whatever they've done. If they've gone out of their way and served other people, I think they need an applause, they need some recognition, and they need to be, that positivity needs to be installed in them, that, hey, you've done something wonderful out of your way, and keep doing that. It's contagious. Let's promote that, and let's recognize such heroes, unsung heroes in our life, because in the end, you want to give a lot back to the society, because you've received so much from society. So that's my way of looking at Rotary. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kapil.
It's such a pleasure.
And that brings me right to the end of another conversation. We were talking about Kapil Dasani's career journey. We took him from being a young adolescent who went on a chance delivery route and found his aspired future career. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at my next Careers with Miss V Spotlight.